Noah, before we start talking about our class that's coming up, I wanted to quickly deal with the name the Enneagram. So many people wonder where that came from. It's sort of a strange sounding name. It gets pronounced all kinds of ways. But I just wanted to tell people that it's really simple. This is a system of 9 types, and Ennea is the Greek word for 9. Gram, just in Instagram, Telegram, is basically a writing. So the Enneagram system is a writing about 9 different types of personality, 9 different ways of looking at the world, 9 different ways of being in the world. And this way, people at least have an idea about what we're going to be teaching. We're going to be teaching all about these 9 types.
So, our introduction to the Enneagram. Who am I and who the heck are you? Well, what is this class? What is this introduction workshop? This Enneagram intro workshop is really just an invitation. It's an invitation into a growth tool that you can take with you throughout your life. Um, it's, for some, and it's, maybe not a winner for everybody, but my goodness, it has changed my life. This is an all experience levels workshop. You don't have to know your type to come to this workshop. If you don't know it, we'll try to help you figure it out. Hopefully, over the course of the workshop, you'll be able to suss out maybe a top guess to take with you. And then, of course, if you do know your type, this is still a workshop for you. Uh, Come peel the onion. You know your type, now you've got questions about your type. You can ask us. So we're happy to help you dig for that next layer of nuance about your number, or maybe, whatever you want to know, your number, your wing. Hit us with your big questions. That's our favorite game to play.
I'm going to give a little example for myself because I want people to know how valuable understanding the Enneagram has been. I, in my 40s, was introduced to the Enneagram, and it was an unbelievably helpful tool because although I sort of knew myself at the time, I really didn't have that deep understanding of the why what I did. And the Enneagram is a great tool for the why because it's based on our view of the world. And actually there are 9 different views of what this world is we live in. One of the things that was really helpful for me was understanding my relationship with conflict. It's very well known that 9s avoid conflict, but it's not necessarily known why. But anger can feel scary. Conflict can feel scary. It can feel like it will separate us from other people. So when I came to understand that one of my views or the core view of the world for 9s is for there to be harmony, but the why of it, because we don't want to be separated from other people. We value belonging to others. We value harmony and working together. That was very helpful for me because then I started noticing when I avoided conflict, how I avoided conflict. And it made an incredible difference in my relationship with my husband, my kids, even friends. That's what we want to introduce you to. How do these issues with your type show up, and where do you see them playing out?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about where mine showed up for me and all the benefits I've gotten from the Enneagram. I'm a type 6. Type 6 on the Enneagram will tell you all about that at the workshop, but bottom line, there's a nervous streak in type 6. They're on alert, they're vigilant, ever vigilant are we, us type 6s. And until I came across the Enneagram, I didn't really know that about myself. Looking back in hindsight, I barely knew who I was at all. I didn't understand how on edge I was. I didn't realize that I played it safe always across every domain, to the point of, really narrowing my scope of life sometimes. And I was really avoiding risks. Like, I never understood how much, compared to other people, I really am risk avoidant, you know? I was essentially judging people who weren't. So I have a little more compassion for myself now because I know, all right, this nervousness, this vigilance, that I didn't even really know I was experiencing, but it is there. It's natural to my personality. It's something for me to work with, right? It's not something that's wrong with me. And likewise, somebody who goes and rides a motorcycle, yes, they're way more into risk than me. but it's not bad. It's not wrong. They just have a different value set. And the Enneagram made me see that in a way that I could not see it before.
And I want to really point out here one of the biggest values of the Enneagram is it's not judgmental about this. It's not blaming. It's not saying one type is right, another type is wrong. And in fact, it really does encourage us to be compassionate, not only about ourselves and how we got where we are, but really understand that other people got to where they are and who they are, with a real compassionate look instead of a judgmental look. I love that about the Enneagram. So, one thing I wanted to mention is in the class, we'll be talking about what all these lines mean. And we'll be talking about the organization of the Enneagram and come away with a really good sense of, oh, this is what this system is all about and why it's so helpful. It's human nature for people to believe that other people think like they do and they go through the world like they do. But in fact, we are so very different. And it can startle us when someone thinks, acts, or feels in a way that we would never feel. It's really important to understand these differences, that someone who is extremely different from me, just like you said, Noah, someone who loves risk, loves the motorcycle, that they are not a flawed version of us. They are their own special person. And all 9 types are deeply needed for the human species to survive. We need all of the parts of this system here, all of the types with all of their gifts and with all of their ways that maybe they could improve a little. So we really hope to see you at the class, and that hope that you will come to understand and see how the Enneagram is an incredibly important tool for growing our own compassion for ourselves and others, and just learning an amazing system.